Score. Live on the Morning Score, your top of day fix for professional and college sports and for gaming. The Morning Score with Erica and Trevor.
What?
Periscoping. Guys, Periscopers, go ahead and tune in to ubnradio.com channel 2 because we have to hang up with you. And I want to give a shout out to Stack With Me. Stack With Me has been talking to us on Periscope for the past few minutes. So
What's up, Stack With Me?
Stack With Me. Stack With Me. Make sure you go to ubnradio.com. What up, by Periscopers? Hello, everyone out there. Erica Renee Davis here. You can follow me on Snapchat, Periscope, Twitter, Instagram at Erica Renee D.
And I'm Trevor Anthony, and you can follow me on the old Twitter at Trevor Anthony, and check out the YouTube page, YouTube.com/The Trevor Anthony.
And to keep up with The Morning Score, follow The Morning Score on Twitter at The Morning Score, and follow The Morning Score on Instagram at The Morning Score Show. And most importantly, follow us on YouTube.
Boom.
YouTube on The Morning Score. Also, tell your friends to download this episode on iTunes, on TuneIn, on Stitcher. We know you guys are out there watching, but keep watching and keep downloading and keep sharing. Lots to talk about, opening up with the sizzle. But before we do that, got to talk about how Pete Rose finally is getting inducted, not into the National Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, but to the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame.
I dig it. The dude made a mistake. He gambled. We get it. There are a lot worse people in the actual Major League Baseball Hall of Fame who've done much worse things than Pete Rose.
Like who? Name some names.
Ty Cobb.
Okay.
Babe Ruth. I mean, these guys are like womanizers, racists, whatever. I mean, they're just not good people.
Yeah.
Pete Rose, yes, he gambled, and that's like the no-no. But at least he gambled on his team to win. He wasn't shaving points or anything. Like he was so confident in his squad that he was gambling on them, which is so stupid. But the guy has paid his price, and I think, Cincinnati Hall of Fame, congratulations. You should have the leading hitter in Major League Baseball.
Leading hitter of all time. They're going to retire his number 14 jersey. And also, in the future, they are planning on giving a bust, a Pete Rose statue to him. So, like you said, congrats, Pete Rose. And also, want to give a shout out to SMU basketball. They're the only undefeated team right now in college basketball. But because they are on probation, they have no postseason eligibility. Did I say that eligibility?
Yeah, that was right. That was good. That was good.
Okay, good.
And we'll give a little shout out to @Steve LaRue. He's a avid follower of the Morning Score, and he's a SMU alumnus.
Yes.
So I know he's proud of his Mustangs.
That's right. And I was supposed to give the call-in number. Do you have the call-in number handy? Oh, here it is. Guys, call in. Thank you, Jarvis, our fantastic engineer. Phone number is 323-843-2826. So call in, make sure you're watching, and then call in and talk about whatever we're talking about at that time, and we will accept your call, and we will love you for it forever. NFL Divisional Weekend recap. Disappointments, surprises.
As a Cardinals fan, I had absolutely no disappointments other than the fact that they almost let that game slip away. The only surprises to me, I originally had Pitt. I had originally
Pitt.
Peter Papa, pick a pepper, put rhyme, hope they don't fell down until all time. I originally had Pitt. That was good. That was. Just getting after it here at the Morning Score.
Funny.
I had originally picked Pittsburgh to beat Denver.
Yes.
That was without, I didn't know that Antonio Brown wasn't going to be there.
I thought we knew that going into the weekend, though, didn't we?
No, because we filmed 2 weeks ago.
That's right. Okay.
So then he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And so without Antonio Brown, they didn't have a shot. But they did have a shot.
They did have a shot.
The Broncos probably shouldn't even have won that game. And that poor kid, Fitzgerald Toussaint, with that fumble.
The fumble. So I've been bragging all week on social media. Just go to Erica Renee D, and you can see me bragging on Twitter. I was perfect. Predictions were perfect. I picked Denver, and I always go back to how Colin Cowherd talks about how much of a noodle Peyton's arm is. But even with Peyton Manning being just an old a shell of his old self, I still believed in that Broncos defense. And going up to the very end, I was sitting on the edge of my seat hoping, Lord, please don't let me be wrong with this prediction. And he answered my prayers. Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, it was great. It was great. That Broncos D is legit. But, man, they were going against a
Oh, we have a caller.
Oh, hey.
All right, guys. You are live on air with the Morning Score, Erica and Trevor. Who do we have on the phone?
You've got Mark Evans from Pittsburgh.
Oh, straight out of Pittsburgh.
This is BFF Mark. What up, BFF
What's
Mark?
up, Marky?
How you doing, BFF Renee?
Hey.
Oh.
What's going on? How you guys doing?
We're talking about the divisional weekend recap. Want to know what you think about the surprises and the disappointments from last weekend's NFL playoff games.
Now, be nice to Mark. He's a Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Well, you know what? I wasn't disappointed with Kansas City. I was hoping they would win, but, I think that you've got a really tough Patriots team that's just gritty, and they've done it over and over and over again. I was actually more shocked that the Broncos looked so bad against a banged-up Pittsburgh team. I really thought that was going to be a blowout, and Pittsburgh really gave them a battle.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Marky. I thought going into that game, without Antonio Brown, no Williams, a banged-up Ben, I thought the Broncos were going to crush them.
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh,
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like 30-3.
I did too, because the one thing about Pittsburgh, great offense, but no weapons, and now you have a terrible defense. So you thought the Broncos would actually be able to do something.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mark, one more quick question before we let you go. Now that your Chiefs are out of it, who do you have in this weekend's game, the Patriots, or would you rather the Broncos?
Oh, I don't want either one of them in, but, I think the Broncos are really kind of on the slide. Patriots are going to be tough like they always are in January. I see the Patriots winning, and pretty handily.
What about that Panthers-Cardinals game, son?
You know what? I kind of like Cardinals going in there. Panthers got up big early on Seattle, and then they almost lost it at the end. I think that it was very similar to that Utah-BYU game during the bowl season. BYU was the right team to win. They just got down 5 touchdowns.
So Mark's got Pats, and you also have the Cardinals. So I'm writing your picks down, Mark.
Yes,
so
Cardinals and Patriots.
Okay.
Now, actually, the most important question of the morning, Mark.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to the bachelor party?
That is to be determined. I'll let you know soon. I'm waiting on the job offer.
All right. Sounds good. Fair enough.
But then again, you know what? When I texted you last week about the Cardinals winning, you haven't replied to me in 8 days, so I don't know what to do.
That was about 8 to 10 bourbons deep and phone all over the place.
Well, you could have always responded the next day, too. But then again, I'd still called in, so, we'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark, for calling in. We got your predictions, and you guys out there have Mark's predictions, so we're going to give him shit if he's wrong. I
think he's going to be right, though. Mark and I are like-minded.
Thank you, Mark. Okay.
Have a good one, guys.
Later, Marky.
You too. Okay,
Bye.
So we talked about Kansas City lost. Are we surprised, disappointed? I mean, I'm not surprised. The Chiefs and that coaching staff are getting some grief for not being more strategic down the stretch when they had a chance.
Yeah, my whole thing with that game is all these prognosticators, experts, all picking the Chiefs. The Chiefs were a damn good team. They had a hell of a season. But I think everybody forgot that this is the Patriots at home with a healthy Edelman, a healthy Amendola. I know Gronk was banged up, but he looked pretty damn good in that game.
He did look pretty good.
I mean, it's like, let's pump the brakes a little bit on everybody who was picking the Chiefs that day. I was like, damn. But, I love our boy Colin Cowherd.
Yes. Yes.
He said it best in my opinion. It's like everybody's got their, they're down the stretch, 2-minute, 4-minute drill, blah, blah, blah. But there's no by the book. There's no way to do it. And Andy Reid, yes, they were a little slow moving, but I don't think they wanted to give Brady the ball back.
That's what they said.
Because you couldn't stop them. I mean, they looked sensational in that game.
They did. And then again, Kansas City, they were on their little Cinderella winning streak, but as you said, you're playing Brady and Belichick and Gronk and Edelman. They didn't have a snowball's chance in hell, I didn't think. Sorry, Mark Evans.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a good game.
And sorry, Mark Froman. Our other Mark friend is a Kansas City fan too.
The Marks brothers.
They are. They're marksmen.
Oh,
marksmen. The TV ratings, by the way, guys, were through the roof for this playoff weekend last weekend. Although they were down a percentage, they were still, I think they averaged 36.2 million viewers. Steelers-Broncos matchup had 43 million viewers. So someone wanted to see noodly arm Manning for whatever reason.
Well, and now I think about it for poor Marky. He's a diehard Chiefs fan, always have been. But now he's lived in Pittsburgh for about 5 or 6 years, so he's kind of picked up the Steelers as a secondary team. So that was just a rough weekend all around.
Can we talk a little bit about Cardinals and their dramatic win over Green Bay in overtime? Aaron Rodgers is a beast.
Yes.
He's a beast.
I mean, that's all you could say is like the dude, what was it, like 90 yards, 80 yards in basically 30 seconds with a 4th and 20 huge pass. That was ridiculous for the Cardinals defense. And then they give up a Hail Mary with Rodgers falling backwards.
Ridiculous.
Like, that dude's got a cannon.
He does.
I mean, who else in the NFL can make those big throws? I really don't know.
I bet Cam Newton can make that kind of throw.
Cam definitely has the arm strength. I don't know if to get it that far and that accurate.
And
that was like a beautiful pass right to Janice is like 6'5", third-string wide receiver.
It was meant to be for them to go into overtime, and then, of course, once they went into overtime, there was a controversy with the coin flip, which the original coin flip didn't flip, and then people were upset that the NFL postseason overtime rules don't really allow for the other team to have a chance to score. Like, basically, it's over. Like, it's over for you if you pick the wrong side of the coin or if you decide to give or receive, whatever. How do you feel about those postseason playoff overtime rules?
See, I think Green Bay Packers fans are upset by these postseason rules, but it's the same rules, I mean, that we've had. Like, nobody's complaining about them before. Here's the deal.
I don't like them personally either.
I personally like the college thing. I would love that, but I know the NFL doesn't want these long, drawn-out games, but God, how exciting would that be? But if you're the Packers, you need to stop the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I mean, you have all the momentum. I mean, the Cardinals are just disheveled. Like, this game is over. Then these 2 crazy passes and an even more crazy Hail Mary to tie the game, and now you're going in to overtime with the momentum. Stop the Cardinals. If you don't like this overtime rule, stop the Cardinals. I mean, that's all you have to make them kick a field goal.
That's all you have to do is stop Larry Fitzgerald. Okay. Yeah, no.
Well, I mean, that was Carson Palmer, for as bad as he played that game, made that one little 360 move.
He did.
Threw it to Fitz on like a 5-yard pass, who Fitzgerald then just shredded the Packers defense.
He did. He was threading that needle that thing like a needle.
Like Aunt Jemima.
Wait, does Aunt Jemima thread needles?
I don't know. She threads delicious maple syrup.
She's syrup. She's syrup. Really quickly before we go into our predictions, the Panthers-Seahawks game was, I think, the other game of the weekend, other than the Green Bay game going into overtime. I tweeted that I was really cheering for the Panthers to spite all the Cam haters, but I was kind of cheering for the Seahawks to spite Future, who is Sierra's baby's daddy, who's been giving her a hard time because he's jealous that Sierra has upgraded times 10 and is now dating Russell Wilson versus Slumlord Future. Thoughts on that game?
My whole thing is, I thought this was going to be an amazing game, and it somewhat turned out to be an amazing game because the Panthers just fell asleep at the wheel after going up 31-0. Couldn't do anything in the second half. The Seahawks come storming back. And, until about 5 minutes in the fourth quarter, then I was like, damn.
What if?
Like, the Seahawks. Because if they score again, and they I think, took a little bit too much time throughout
the Seahawks
second
did.
half. Yeah,
I agree with that.
I thought they were a little nonchalant. And, you got to get it right, but you got to get it right and you got to get it done fast. As a Cardinals fan, I wasn't really sure who I wanted to win because the Cardinals, they are 5-0 in the playoffs at home.
Okay.
And even though
you guys would have hosted the Seahawks, right?
We would have hosted the Seahawks. And even though the Seahawks blasted them in Week 17, it was a kind of a meaningless game for the Cardinals. But the Seahawks are really good against the Cardinals at home for some weird reason. Like, the Cardinals beat them in Seattle, but Seattle beats them in Arizona.
Okay.
So I wasn't really sure who I wanted to win because I actually think the Cardinals have a really good shot against Carolina.
Okay.
But we'll save that.
Well, no, we can.
Are we go in?
We can segue. So let's talk about our predictions for starting with NFC Cardinals versus Panthers. This game is. I wrote it down somewhere. Oh yeah, Cardinals at Panthers Sunday at 6:40 Eastern, 3:40 West Coast time. West Coast represent for that 3:40 afternoon game. That narrative has been Cam Newton versus Carson Palmer, the battle of the Heisman winners. For me personally, I hate that the Panthers, for several games this year, have become a lackadaisical second-half team. Most notably in that Monday night game against the Colts, when Andrew Luck was playing with that bruised rib, and they were winning that entire game, and then that game went into overtime. Of course, the Panthers still ended up winning, but there was no reason for that game to have gotten to the point that it got to. And then, most recently, last week's game against the Seahawks, 31-0 at the half. Pete Carroll, of course, is not going to take anything laying down. So I'm not surprised that the Seahawks made a run, but I am surprised that the Panthers were so conservative. And Cam Newton said it himself. He said we were too conservative. It was like they were just trying not to lose as opposed to win. Like, pile those points on.
Yes.
This is not, college football where we're going to stroke your ego and be considerate of your feelings. Pile those freaking points on. You're trying to win a Super Bowl, not play gentlemen's football.
Yeah, and you know how dangerous the Seahawks are. Like, don't just hand off. Like, make some plays. Do something. That was the most stagnant, boring offense in the second half.
It was. So going into the Panthers or the Cardinals at the Panthers on Sunday, what are the keys to success for your Cardinals? Because I know you want Arizona to win. I'm going for the dab, but you're going for the Cardinals.
Definitely going for the Cardinals, big time. I think the key for the Cardinals is stopping Greg Olsen. Oof. The Cardinals are notoriously bad against the tight end, and this couldn't be a worse matchup because Greg Olsen is a beast. Now, Greg Olsen hurt his shoulder at the end of that Seattle game.
Okay.
So we'll see how.
Oh, he did, yeah.
How rough it is. And just listen to some of the guys on ESPN today, like those defensive guys are going to key in on that and bang it a little bit and smack it a little bit, try to slow him down. So that's a huge thing is slowing down Greg Olsen.
Yeah.
I also think special teams. I think the Cardinals have amazing special teams, and if Patrick Peterson can maybe get a kick return here or there or even just put them in great field position, I think the Cardinals have a great shot because that offense, the Panthers' defense is solid. I'm not going to say anything about that. But they get exposed a lot. And so the Cardinals' offense is just, there's weapons everywhere. Because who do you key on? Like this week you key on Fitzgerald. Well, then you've got Michael Floyd and John Brown. You key on one of those guys. And then who knows? This is one of those games to me that,
isn't your boy, is it Chris Johnson? Who is it?
David Johnson.
David Johnson. He's out. Is he out?
Well, Chris Johnson's out.
Chris Johnson.
David Johnson he's in.
He's in, okay.
And he to me, he could have one of those sneaky little games where the guy that you don't really expect to have a big game has a huge game.
So give me your prediction. Winner with the points.
I'm going to go Cardinals 35-31.
Ooh, wow.
I think this is going to be a shootout. Two great offenses, two great defenses, but they're just going to be airing it out because these teams, the Panthers were 4th against the run, and the Cardinals were 6th against the run.
Okay.
So I don't think there's going to be a lot of running going on. And I think they're just going to be airing that ball out. And that's why I like the Cardinals because they just have so many more weapons than the Panthers.
See, I disagree. Now, I'm going to piggyback on that stat about Panthers being 4th against the run. They do. They rank 4th in the league against the run. So their defense is solid. You got Kuechly, you got Thomas Davis, damn good dog. Go dog, sick 'em. I cannot say enough about, I say this almost every time I get a chance, about how Cam Newton has matured as a pocket passer. His evolution as a classic quarterback, if you will, has just been so beautiful to watch, and he's become even more confident than he was, I would say, the beginning of this season, staying in the pocket. And he's big, and he's strong, and he can get those extra yards with his legs. Someone said this morning on sports radio that it's like having a tight end playing the quarterback position with his size and his height. But he has the size, he has the height, he has the skill set, he has the cannon for an arm, he has Greg Olsen, he has Thomas Davis on defense on the other side of the ball. I just really think the Panthers are more multifaceted than are the Cardinals. And I'm going to say Panthers. I'm going to say Panthers 28, Cardinals 24.
Okay.
That's what I say.
Well, we both have, I have the Cardinals winning by 4. You have the Panthers winning by 4.
Yep.
So we'll see. So at least we'd have by our standards, we're at least gonna have a good game.
Yes.
Which
yes.
I want the Cardinals just to come and just blow them out. I don't want to get some stupid hands to the face crap call where they negate a 100-yard interception return like they did in that Green Bay game happening again.
Oh, I do want to say that Green Bay game. Your longest rushing play was 8 yards against Green Bay.
Well, Green Bay's defense is actually really good.
As is Carolina's, which is my point. Thank you, Trevor.
Well, so Arizona Cardinals defense is really good.
We're gonna fight. Call in, Jarvis. What's the number? Give me the number. One more again. Call in, guys. 323-843-2826. Call in. Talk to us. What are your predictions for this weekend's games? And if you don't want to call in because you're camera shy, you can always join the conversation on Twitter at #TMSTalk. The other game, the Manning-Brady Bowl, the 17th meeting between these two future Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Patriots, I think, will win this game hands down. There's nothing that I see. I mean, I can't say, okay. The Broncos, I nod my head to your defense. I nod my head to Peyton Manning's ability to keep you in games. I nod my head to Peyton Manning's ability to win against the Steelers when they really should not have won that game. Toussaint, thank you, Toussaint, for that. You know, you guys need to be sending him thank you notes. Other than that, I think Brady and Belichick and Edelman and that offense and that defense, the Patriots have, I think, the top defense in the league. Like Broncos, it's been good.
Yeah, no.
It's been nice knowing you. And it's going to suck for Peyton Manning's legacy, because as fantastic of a regular season quarterback he just keeps getting in these most precarious, most unfortunate situations where he has to face Brady. And dude, your legacy as a postseason quarterback is going to be marred by this game.
Yeah, I just don't see the Broncos winning this game. I see the Patriots dismantling them.
Mm-hmm.
The way that Peyton played, the way his receivers played last week, that's a really bad Steelers defense.
Yeah.
You should have been able to own them.
The drop passes, the 7 dropped passes? What the hell?
It's just crazy. And somebody brought it up today when I was driving over here, like Brock Osweiler in some of those games that he lost had a crap load of drop passes, but nobody ever gave him the benefit of the doubt. He's not Peyton Manning. He's not a Hall of Famer. But I think Peyton is just going to get exposed in this game. I mean, I can just see Belichick just licking his chops because their offense isn't going to score, because the Patriots, they're one of the best defenses in the NFL. Nobody thinks of that.
Yeah.
And those little butterfly balls that are just like floating up there are just going to get jacked for 6 a couple times, I have a feeling.
Okay.
And that's the only possible way, in my opinion, Denver has a shot at winning this game, is if that defense just turns it on and they score. Because if they don't score, there's no shot.
There's no shot. Broncos fans, we apologize. So I think we both agree that if and when, I shouldn't be so presumptuous, but if the Broncos lose this game, this will tarnish Peyton Manning's legacy.
I don't know if it will necessarily, because I think this whole season has kind of tarnished it a little bit.
Okay.
And I think people are expecting him to lose. I don't think anybody really thinks he's gonna win this game and go to the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. I think it'd be a great story. He's an amazing quarterback who's done so much, and he will always be known as one of the elites, whether he wins this game or not.
Yeah.
So I don't even think if he wins this game, it's going to prop him up that much. I think he's just kind of like there.
Like a lame duck quarterback.
Yeah, he's going to be in the top 5, top 6 quarterbacks of all time, no matter what happens this weekend, in my opinion. But I don't think either way he's ever going to catapult over Brady or Montana.
Okay.
But on the flip side, if Brady wins this game, goes on to the Super Bowl, wins the Super Bowl, then there is no argument whatsoever by anybody that dude is the best quarterback
of all time?
Of all time.
Of all time.
If he wins again?
Trevor is, okay, so if Brady does win again, he will be the first quarterback in the Super Bowl era to have won 5 championships. So that is a nasty stat.
That's
a nasty stat worth considering. But you're going to crown Tom Brady the greatest quarterback of all time if he wins the Super Bowl this year.
me personally, and this is coming from a diehard Dolphins fan, already crown him the greatest ever. I'm saying if he wins this game and goes on to win the Super Bowl, everybody else needs to crown this dude because not only would he have won 5, but he'll now have been to 8. He's been in this NFL for 16 seasons.
Wait, 8? Wait, 4, 6, 7, right?
All right, so it'll been to 7.
Yeah, this will make his 7th.
Okay,
one,
this
right?
will be his 7th Super Bowl.
2, 3,
He's been
5,
in the league for 16 years, which basically means like every 2 years the dude's playing this. Dan Marino didn't even play in one. No, he played in one Super Bowl. Like that's insane.
Well, on Tom Brady, Antonio Smith, the Broncos defensive lineman, said that Tom Brady's a crybaby. That's getting a lot of press lately. He said that basically every time Tom Brady gets hit, he's looking at the ref like, what? Like, I got hit. Where's the flag? So that's kind of the fun, feel-good story, if you're not a Patriots fan, of the week, that Tom Brady is a crybaby.
Now, I think that story's hilarious. He's like, dude, watch my Uggs. He should be wearing Uggs out there. That's what he should do.
He should be wearing Uggs should make some cleats.
That would be, oh my God. Now, I will just say this. I want the Broncos to win.
Me too.
Because I don't want the damn Patriots in the Super Bowl again. And when my Cardinals beat the Panthers,
he's telling lies.
The Broncos will be so much easier to beat.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, so let's hear your prediction for Pats and Broncos.
I'm going Pats 31, Broncos 17.
Ooh, okay. I will go Pats. I'm going to say 41.
Woo!
Pat, because Tom Brady people have been talking about him being a crybaby all week. You know, he has a chip on his shoulder. I don't know why, but he does. He has like a perpetual chip on his shoulder.
Right. It's like you've won 5 Super Bowls, dude. That chip can fall off at this point.
He's going to keep scoring. 41 to, I'll take your 17. I say 41 to 17.
All right. Okay. So we're fairly close there. Now, here's a quick little stat.
Okay.
Tom Brady is 2-6 in Denver.
Yes. So
there could be a little kryptonite there.
Kryptonite. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys when the game is. This game is Sunday at 3:05 Eastern, so 12:05 West Coast time. So get up, West Coasters, and get your brunch on and watch a 12 o'clock game.
Yeah, thank God it's 12 o'clock. Like these 10 o'clock games, it's like, come on, man. It's like, it's the playoffs. You can push it back another hour or two.
Or even worse, during the regular season when the London games come on at 6 a.m. our time. NFL, please have some compassion for your West Coast viewers.
Yeah,
Jeez.
especially now that we have a team, NFL.
Yes, which segues into our next segment, the Morning Rant. The Morning Rant, #TeamSTalk. Join the conversation on Twitter. So the Morning Rant, 30 seconds. This week's Morning Rant is about the NFL moving back to L.A., going back to Cali.
Going back to Cali.
Jarvis. So, Jarvis, will you have the timer ready? Each of us gets 30 seconds to do Jarvis is like, what timer? You didn't tell me I was doing this today. Oh, you can just do your phone timer. It doesn't matter. And then can we have a buzzer too? See what happens, guys. This is live television.
This is, just we're going to buzz people. We should have a big dong.
Yeah.
Just boom.
So we each get 30 seconds to rant about the NFL moving to Los Angeles. And when the 30 seconds is up, you get buzzed. So whatever you have to say, if you don't say within 30 seconds, then you're a loser.
It's like Twitter. Like you only get, what do you get,
140 characters.
140 characters.
Although they're increasing it to 10,000 characters in March.
What?
Isn't that the most ridiculous thing?
10,000? How do you go from 140 to 10,000?
Like your Twitter post will basically be like Facebook posts. And I'm not sure how the platform will work, but I think like you'll see 140 characters, and maybe there will be a link to like the additional characters.
I hope so, because can you imagine you'll just like scrolling through your feed and it's just one dude's just oh my! That just spells trouble.
Trouble.
That just spells.
How do you spell trouble? TWITTER. Twitter.
I mean, that's 10,000.
That's what the people out there on the internet are saying.
Oh God, can you just imagine these rants that are gonna happen?
I'm just gonna be like, no, thank you, hide you, unfollow. Jarvis, can we start a morning rant? Jarvis is like, you can do whatever you want to do. he's like, you can do whatever you want to do. I'm not timing this. You didn't tell me this.
You want me to time it?
Do you want us to time? Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
I think I've got a timer on this.
But do we have a buzzer?
Oh.
Okay. Well, you know what? Okay. I will time you. I got it.
Okay, you got it?
Not really.
I got a stopwatch.
Okay. You got it? Well,
And then we could just do vocal buzzers.
Okay, this is perfect. Okay. So,
like you can come up with your own buzz.
Okay, so you're going to go first.
Oh, okay.
NFL to Los Angeles morning rant, 30 seconds, go.
Hey, guess what? The second largest city in America now has an NFL team again. It is great to have the Rams here. I'm not a Rams fan, but I'm a football fan. I'm an Arizona Cardinals fan, so I will get to see my beloved Cards at least once a year. And please, no Chargers, no Raiders. LA, we need one team only that we can get behind, even though technically you will be my third team, so not really a team. But I'll just like to go tailgate, party, and watch some damn football. That was a good.
That was good.
That was a good buzz.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
And your morning rant starts now.
Going back to Cali, St. Louis, my first thing that I need to say is condolences to you guys for losing your team. And on a serious note, condolences to all the people who lost their jobs. But on a happier note, going back to Cali. I'm so excited that we finally have an NFL team. I do not have a strong affinity to any NFL team, but now that the Rams are moving to Los Angeles, I am going to be a Rams fan. So here's an announcement. Trevor and I are going to be doing fun little skits called Okay, this is important, so I'm sorry. I'm gonna break the rules.
I know. I kind of felt bad. I didn't want to buzz you at that. I was like, well, but the rules are rules.
I'm going to be like Twitter now, so I'm going over my 30 seconds. I'm going to
That's
some
right.
more seconds.
You're just testing out the 10,000 characters thing now.
That's what I'm doing. Because I don't have a team. Now, Trevor has two teams. He has the Dolphins. You have the Cardinals.
Yes.
But I don't have an NFL team. I was an Atlanta Falcons cheerleader, but I wasn't really a fan particularly.
Who is?
I wasn't really a fan. Although I still do like for the home team to do well. But now my home team will be the Rams. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be basically exploring my journey to becoming a Rams fan. Little vignettes where you see me maybe go buy my very first Los Angeles Rams paraphernalia. Trevor and I might set up a little booth, who knows, at the Coliseum to do a little tailgate. I might even go shopping for a Ram pickup truck.
Damn.
How about that? I might even try out for the Los Angeles Rams cheerleading team. I'm going to become a Ram fan. I know nothing about the Rams.
All you need to know is their starting running back is one of the best running backs in the NFL, and he's a bulldog.
Dog girly, damn good dog. I'm a girly girl. Okay.
I like that, a girly girl. Is that a thing?
That's a thing. So during when Todd Gurley was at Georgia, we would say you were either a girly girl or a chubby girl. Nick Chubb. I'm a chubby girl who happens to be a girly girl.
I love that.
Right?
You're not a chubby girl.
I am Nick Chubb. I'm a chubby girl. Technically, hashtag Team Must Talk. Tennis match fixing scandal. So we opened up the show talking about how Pete Rose finally got into the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame. And the reason that's a little bit controversial because, of course, Pete Rose has a very tumultuous past with throwing games, betting. Moving fast forward to the tennis match fixing scandal, which is actually happening right now. If you guys are not caught up on it, basically the ATP said that in 2007, there were several lower tier tennis players who have been suspected of throwing games to make money. Now, we're not talking about the Serenas or the Andy Murrays. We're talking about players whose names I don't know. I don't know if you know these players.
Well, and I don't even think they've even released them. But yeah, I think reading one of the articles today, they said something like there's at least one top 50 player in the world.
Oh, who's participating in this?
Who's participated in it.
Okay.
Which is just... These international sports are insane. The Olympics are rigged.
Soccer's
FIFA. Rigged. Tennis now.
Okay, so let's give you guys some tidbits because we don't ever talk about tennis.
Once again, another shout out to @Steve LaRue.
LaRue, this is all for you, Steve. We're in your world right now, Steve, just living in it. All about you, dude. Media reports that tennis has evidence that there's been match fixing since 2008. The ATP president says that there are that he's denying any cover up. Tennis is the second most bet on sport after soccer. Novak, how do you pronounce his last name? Djokovic says he was offered approximately $200,000 to lose a match in 2007. And here's a fun fact quote that I saw on Mike and Mike yesterday. Winners of singles and doubles titles titles at Grand Slam tournaments are among the core group of 16 players that have been repeatedly reported of losing games when highly suspicious bets have been placed against them. So the evidence is there. Like you said, they haven't really released any names. The ATP says there's no cover up. Again, another cheating scandal. You have the Falcons who pumped in crowd noise. You have, high school and college coaching staffs who changed the temperature in the visitors' locker rooms to throw them off kilter. You have PEDs and HGH and basketball and MLB. You have Deflategate. You have Spygate. What to you, Trevor, is the threshold for cheating? Where do you, with your moral compass, draw the line when it comes to cheating in professional sports?
I mean, obviously, like, Spygate, that to me is so much worse than Deflategate because you're actually like spying on these teams and stuff like that. Like, come on. I think Deflategate was so goofy. I mean, those balls, whatever. It's
those balls.
Those balls were deflated, but they actually played better when they weren't deflated. So I don't know. It was just a goofy thing. I think stuff like pumping in crowd noise or making the locker room a little hotter or colder. I think that stuff's funny. Like that.
Okay.
That stuff to me, it's just kind of game name shit.
Funny, although still cheating technically.
Technically, well, even like when the away team, at their hotel, they set off the fire alarm.
Oh yeah.
Like all that stuff. My poor Dolphins back in like '93 lost a game that they were up 21-3 at halftime because they shut off all the lights in their locker room.
Oh wow.
So they weren't able to make any adjustments. That to me, That's a little ruthless because even if it's hot or cold, you can still figure out your plays. You can make adjustments. You can talk to your players. When all the lights are out and nobody can see anything and you only have, 15 minutes at halftime?
Yeah.
That kind of screws with you a little bit.
So with this tennis match fixing scandal, which is, I guess, is still at this point alleged because no one has been really brought forth on charges. I don't know if you can even really call them charges. But with this particular scandal, Trevor, Are you upset with these lower tier tennis players for participating in throwing games?
I mean, I think, anytime anybody's throwing a game, like that goes back to the Pete Rose thing. Like, at least when he gambled on his team to win. He didn't gamble on his team to lose. Like shaving points. That to me, like boxing. That's one reason why nobody likes boxing anymore because they know that it's rigged. That for all these years, these promoters were paying off guys. And I've never been in that situation. I'm not one of these guys who barely makes a tour and the freaking Russian or Italian mafia comes up to you and says, we'll give you $100,000 if you throw a game. It's like, you probably morally don't want to do it, but you also don't want to, who knows if they're going to kill you if you don't do it.
Now, if my life is on the line, if my life is on the line, I'm going to throw a game for $100.
Yeah.
You're not going to kill me.
Yeah, it's easy for me to say, oh, this is such a horrible thing. And it is technically a horrible thing. Like, it sucks for sports that this comes into play. But you've got Boris who's looking at you with a freaking telling you, hey, make it easy on
Mother Russia.
Make it easy on yourself. We'll give you a $200,000. You throw a match. And they're like,
hell yeah.
All right, instead of you beating the crap out of me until I die, all right, I'll probably do it. Nobody knows my name anyway. Nobody really cares. I mean, so
if it's mafia, big money, related, if it's related to organized crime, you say yes, throw the match.
Well, I think for your life, I mean, it's but it's hard. It's like that's the thing. It's like these the ATP, somehow they need to figure out how to get rid of this corruption because maybe there is, but we don't know that there's corruption. Somehow the NBA, MLB, NFL, NHL, that's not involved. So why the hell is it involved here? But it's these these international
He got so excited
sports.
He dropped his pen.
I'm throwing things. God, tennis. At least we're talking about tennis.
At least we're talking
about
tennis.
Maybe tennis is just doing this so that we talk about tennis.
They could be. And again, I feel so conflicted because what I'm getting ready to say is so against my moral compass because cheating is technically bad. But I had this thing the past year where I really believe that to be at the top of your game, whether it's professional sports or corporate America, like you have to do some shady stuff every now and then to get ahead. And these are the players that have been accused of cheating possibly are not the Serenas or the names we know or the Maria Sharapovas. They're the people who, whose names you will never know. And these guys and women are probably thinking, okay, well, I'm this super low tier player who's worked my entire life. I'm never going to be a millionaire. I'm never going to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I might as well make this worth my time. So for that reason, I say I can't say that I blame them. I cannot, and maybe I can say that with, maybe I can say that as coyly as I do because I'm not really into tennis like that, so I don't have a heart for the sport. But Lance Armstrong was cheating. I mean, Bill Belichick and Brady have a history of cheating. My threshold for cheating, I can't even answer. But if I'm a low tier player, I know that in 10 years when my knees go out, I got to go find a real job. Trust and believe I'm going to do what I got to do to set my family up financially when my knees don't work anymore and I have to actually go try to find a job and I don't really have a skill set except for playing tennis.
So would you like take PEDs and stuff like that?
If I was a tennis player or just an athlete?
Just an athlete. Like a lower tier athlete.
I say I would to gain a competitive edge, but then I'm such like I'm so worried about health, and I don't even like taking a leave. Like when I'm cramping every 28 days, I don't even like taking a leave. I really don't. I'm very conscious about what goes into
that. Was our nasty stat right there.
My nasty stat. When I'm on my period, I don't like taking a leave. A leave will never be a sponsor now, but I'm very aware about what I put into my body, unless it's Jameson or Bullet. I
mean, it's always hard, to sit back behind a desk on a microphone and say that I wouldn't do these things. It's easy to do that, but like you said, and I want to say as a good man that I believe I am, that I would never do any of this stuff, but it's hard to say that.
But if you so
it's easy to say that.
If you knew, I have met people who run track, who have been pursuing careers in track and field, who tell me that if you're a track and field athlete and you're not one of the top, you're essentially paying to be on the competitive circuit until you make it to a world or an Olympic trials and people know your name and you get sponsors. But until that point, you have to, work a job and train. Or if you're just training, like you're living off of pennies. So if that track athlete, we can compare to that tennis athlete who's a lower tier tennis athlete, knows that I can cut some corners and make some money while I'm suffering and sacrificing my time with my family, my social life, and make some money while I'm doing what I love that I wouldn't make otherwise. I can't blame him. I'm sorry. Sorry, Steve LaRue.
See, some of these guys, though, I will say this. I'm sure, and I don't know because I don't know a lot about tennis, so I don't know how much these lower tier guys actually make. I'm going to guess if you're competing in the Australian Open, you're probably making a decent living.
What is decent, though?
Well, I guess that's on a per.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 figures.
You think so?
I would assume. I don't know. I'm gonna have to talk. We're gonna have to talk to Steve LaRue. Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll get him to call in one time and ask him how much these tennis players, these lower tiers, because there are, they said, 8 players that are on the scandal list that are actually in the Australian Open,
which is going on right now. We didn't even talk about the Australian Open because the scandal has overshadowed the Australian Open, and we also didn't talk about the Australian Open because we don't talk about tennis.
But we just mentioned the Australian Open, and never before would we talk about tennis.
Never.
With the NFC Championship game coming up, basketball, all this stuff going on.
Trevor's phone is blowing up. Hotline bling.
Steve LaRue.
Hotline bling. I know when that hotline bling. That can only mean one thing. That it's time to go to Trevor's nasty stat.
All right. You had a great nasty stat. But I will say this. We're going a little different direction on the nasty stat today. I want to give it up to my man, Tom Pratt.
Okay.
He is a defensive coach for the Arizona Cardinals. He coached for the Chiefs in Super Bowl I. So if, I like to think when, the Cardinals make it to Super Bowl 50, he will be a coach that coached in the first one and the 50th one.
How old is he? Do we have an age on Pratt?
I'll find it, but I'm gonna guess he's probably
100,
in his
102 years old.
He's got to be in his 70s or
has to be
80s.
Yeah,
because Super
Bowl
50,
I.
I mean, so he's got to at least be in his. Yeah, he's got to be in his
77. He's only 77.
Damn.
See, Jarvis, our trusty
Jarvis
engineer.
The man.
He is the man.
Damn, Tom Pratt, 77.
That's not really that old.
No, that's That's good.
My mom has a friend who's 103, and he drives. He drives long distances out of town.
My Gramps just turned 89, and that guy's still teeing it up on the golf course.
Is he?
Yeah, and he's still pretty good.
See? Okay, so 77 isn't that old.
Heck no.
Okay. We have a quick second to talk about NHL All-Star. Okay, so Trevor, you might be able to speak to this a little bit more eloquently than I. We have our friend of the morning score, whose name is James Nicholson, who is an LA Kings insider. We had him scheduled to call in, but he wasn't able to make it. He was so kind to let me know, though, to let us know. Basically, John Scott is people like to call him a thug on ice. He is an enforcer in the NHL, and he was voted into All-Star basically as a joke. His hashtag Vote John Scott or John Scott went viral as NHL fans were selecting their favorite players. And he just got enough votes to make it not only into the All-Star game for the Western Conference, but he was had enough votes to be a captain. Now, he's not like a Kopitar or a big name, big contract NHL player. He literally is someone who plays 5 to 7 minutes per game. He's only out there to fight people. Well, the NHL freaked out because they were like, we don't want this guy on the ice with all these multi-million-dollar contracts when the NHL All-Star game, like most All-Star games for professional sports, it's just meant for fun. So they traded him from the West to, was it the Montreal Canadiens?
Yep.
And then the Canadiens there was no need to say after that and subsequently. But the Canadiens put him on the minor league team so that he would not be eligible to play in the All-Star game because the NHL was afraid for him to be on the ice for the All-Star game. But yesterday the news broke that they did allow him to play. So we went from NHL freaking out, putting him on a minor league team so that he could not play, and then they ended up saying, you know what, we'll let him play. What are your thoughts about how the NHL handled this situation, not wanting John Scott on the ice for the All-Star game?
I think it's disgraceful. I think it's a joke. I think when he got voted as the captain, they brought him in and said, well, I don't know if they brought him in, but they asked him, from what I've heard, to step down.
Mm-hmm, they did.
And it's like,
they did.
F you, because once again, he is not a big name. And he's like, no, because I want that extra money that goes to being voted in as an All-Star.
And he will never be he's the kind of player who would have never, ever in a million years gotten voted to be an All-Star. So he's like, okay, this is fun.
Yeah. And then, so not only do they ship him off to Montreal, but then NHL being pissed, they ship him down to the minors, which just doing this guy dirty. And here's the thing, NHL, if you don't want this guy to be in the All-Star game, change your voting process. I mean, it's fan voting, which I've always thought is stupid. I think it drives me crazy because when guys like Kobe, like this year, he's going to make the All-Star game for the NBA. He's terrible.
I mean, he doesn't deserve it based on what he's doing presently, but his legacy.
Yeah, but I get it.
Okay.
But these games this is the 2016 All-Star game, not the
2000.
2012, 2010 All-Star
yeah.
game. Like Kobe, one of the greatest ever, but should not be, because he's taken somebody else's spot.
That's a good point.
He's taken, and for the Olympics, he's not going to be on that Olympic team because once again, he would have been taking a much more deserving player spot. And, this John Scott thing is goofy, but you know what? Change it up if you don't like it because, I think in Major League Baseball, I don't know if it's all fan voting. I don't know exactly how it works, but I think these players should be voted in by players.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then,
so completely remove the fans from the process.
Well, maybe the fans can vote in a flex player or two or something along those lines. Like they do that in Major League Baseball where they pick the teams and then there's 5 players that are open and then people can vote, for those 5 players.
See, the way that I think NBA's fan voting process or voting process for their All-Star game is all fan based. It's all fans. I don't think the NBA personally selects any players. I like that the fans get to vote because as a fan, we don't get to vote on Rookie of the Year. We don't get to vote on anything else of substance, and it gives us an opportunity to feel like our voices are actually being heard. So you disagree. You think the NHL did John Scott dirty?
Oh, I think they totally did him dirty. And it's just this great. It's like the guy gets picked. It should be a fun story. Laugh about it. And now the NHL has just made themselves look so bad.
I agree with that, though.
And it's why they're always going to be that 5th sport.
You're right. I do agree with that.
Things like this. It's like you finally start to look good. Like the Blackhawks are on a 12-game winning streak.
Yeah.
You've had this awesome thing with the Kings and Blackhawks winning every other year. Like good stuff. And then this is just a black eye on the league.
He said black eye, not black guy.
Black guy in hockey.
There are a few.
There are, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, but here's okay, maybe you do this. Maybe if you want the fans to be involved, give them a selection of players, like deserving players.
Okay.
And then the fans can vote based off of those guys. Because the one thing about fan voting, you also just get those homers, like these hometown people who will just click and click and click and click.
Yeah.
And other people like living in big cities like LA or whatever, they don't have time for that.
They don't. Yeah, you're right. You're
so
right.
it's like when you go to those like Doritos commercials, like, oh, it's for fan voting. Well, hey, Susie Q over here has 500,000 Twitter fans, and she's like, well, vote for me.
Well, vote for me,
so we don't have a shot at, winning that.
Oh, my phone is ringing. Oops, sorry. My bad.
So in the end, yes, John Scott got dirty. I'm so glad the NHL finally, they had to save face here because people were getting pissed.
Okay, so this is how I feel. Like you said, NHL is always, for a long time, has been the afterthought sport. And when you have a PR nightmare like this is why you will continue to be the afterthought sport. What I think they should have done, I think they should have taken John Scott into a back room and been like, look, you can play in this All-Star game, but here's an extra 1.2, whatever. Here's an extra little cash purse for you to have to not go out there and be an enforcer and cause any real bodily harm or damage to our real All-Stars. That's what I think. But maybe they chose not to do that. And since they chose not to do that, I understand why they try to protect their branding and their image, because you don't want Scott out there taking down one of the East's main players who we all want to see in playoffs for a stupid All-Star game. So I guess I'm kind of speaking out of both sides of my neck. I think instead of making such a big, huge public melee of this, they should have had a little backroom handshake talk with Scott, paid him extra money to not go out there in the All-Star game and do what he normally does in regular season. But if they weren't going to do that, then I totally get why they chose to move him around to protect the stars and the faces of the game.
Well, and the thing is, who knows if he's going to go out there and be an enforcer during the All-Star game, because it is for fun. You also have a coach for the All-Star game who could decide not even to play him.
Not to put him in, yeah.
He's still the captain. He still gets a vote. Maybe he goes out for a minute, skates around, so everybody can applause and the fans, get their wish, and then boom.
And then that's
But
it.
just moving this guy around to keep him silent, it's like you think about these guys we all go back to the little guy. He is a little guy.
He's a little guy.
He's still.
But he's a big guy. But he's a little guy. Yeah.
But he's not. He doesn't have a big bank account.
No.
He's still making a nice living, 6 figures minimum for NHL. But now you move him to Montreal from Phoenix. I don't know if the guy has a family, but if he does,
he has a kid and a wife. Yeah.
Now he's got to relocate them.
He makes $700,000 a year. Relocating for him is no problem. Sorry for interrupting.
I know, but it's still a pain in the ass over this, which could have been handled so much better.
I'm cutting you off. Do you have any Fandemonium tweets? Just say no, because we don't have time.
I don't. But LA Rams, going back to the LA Rams and relocating, you got to go from St. Louis, where you could get a massive house for $500, to LA. Welcome to LA, Rams players.
Yeah, seriously. Guys, make sure you follow The Morning Score on Twitter at The Morning Score. Follow Morning Score Show on Instagram at The Morning Score Show. Follow me, Erica Renee Davis, on Twitter, Periscope, Snapchat, Instagram, and on YouTube, like Trevor, at Erica Renee D.
And follow me on Twitter at Trevor Anthony and on YouTube at The Trevor Anthony. I'm so jealous of you that you have Erica Renee D on all your platforms.
I do. It's important.
Jealous.
Follow us on iTunes. Download Stitcher. Follow The Morning Score on YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Share, all that stuff. In 2 weeks, we will see you right before the Super Bowl. And make sure you keep checking our Twitters to see if our predictions were right
Cardinals
or wrong. Until next time, guys. Thanks.